All right. We are continuing with our response booklet on page 1 and 2. We're going to be discussing stone soup. And as I said, we have some questions that we're going to discuss in regards to the story itself. So, the first question, what made the soup taste so good? Was it the stone that really made it taste so good? You decide. Was it the stone or was it something else? And if it was something else, tell me what that was. Okay? Make sure you use a nice, complete sentence. The soup tasted good because of whatever. Okay? The next one. Why do you think the young man was able to trick the little old lady? So, yeah, he kind of tricked her, right? Why was he able to do that? It's a good question. You know, why didn't the little old lady figure out what was going on? And this is a why do you think? This isn't a right or wrong answer from the book. This is a what do you think? Why do you think that the little old lady didn't catch on to what the young man was doing? And so let's go over here. Again, what do you think the young man will do with the stone next? What's he going to do with this stone? Again, this is a what do you think? So these two, you can start with I think. And then you have this last one here. Do you think the young man played a mean trick? Why or why not? So you can again start that one with, I think the young man played a mean trick because, or you could say, I think the young man did not play a mean trick because. So you decide. These three are your answers, okay? They are your choice. You get to answer those. They're not necessarily from the book, but you can use the information that's in the book to help you answer that, okay? This story is, as I said earlier, a trickster tale. All right, it's just another kind of folk tale. One thing we want to ask ourselves is, was this book trying to teach us a lesson or explain something or give us a moral? Because the young man tricked the little old lady into making the soup from a stone. So that's kind of a trick. So was it trying to tell us something? Was it trying to teach us something? Some of the other variations of the story have said that they're not trying to tell us a story. They're not trying to give us information. They're not trying to teach us a lesson or anything like that. And some of them say that we are. So in the Anne McGovern one, if we said the story was meant to teach a lesson, what lesson do you think it was meant to teach? What do you think? What are they trying to teach us in this story? I think maybe they're trying to teach us that working together is good, because without, the lady working with the young man, they wouldn't have really made the soup. However, he didn't do a lot of work. So maybe we could even say that sharing is best, because she at first said that she didn't have anything to feed him. And then when he tricked her, she suddenly had a whole bunch of vegetables in her garden, and salt and pepper and barley and butter and all kinds of things to put in that soup. So, maybe sharing is best. In the commandments, we're taught that we should, help our neighbors out. And if they don't have what they need, we should help them. And that's really what the lady should have done. But instead, the young man played a trick on her to get her to do that. Okay. In the story, there is a sequence of events. Okay. There are events that happen. Typically, when we have sequence of events, we usually hear transition words like first, next, then, after that, next, those kinds of words. And we've talked about that before. And those are generally signals of when things are going to happen in the story. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the story and look for those transition words, and we're going to write a few down. All right. So looking at, let's see, I'm going to go to page where I find the first one. All right, so let's look at this page here. Let's look at this page. Looking at that page, do you see any transition words? Like first or next, then, after that? You see anything like that on there? Go ahead and pause the video so you can look at that page. Okay. I don't see any on that page. So let's go to the next one. The little old lady got a pot, filled the pot with water, put it on the fire. I don't see any transition words on this page. Let's keep going. So on this one, oh, I might see something that might indicate something happened. We could consider now and after a while transition words because they're signaling a time, okay? So those could be two that we could write down on page 14. Let's see if there's anything on this page. There's another after a while, okay, on page 16. There's after a while. This one has a lot of after a whiles. Again, after a while. After a while at the bottom. Nothing on that page. After a while. Now, so there's some transition words there. Then, oh, there's another one. Then, that's on page 28. Now, so those are all transition words. Transition words generally signal a time, like next, after, so, those kinds of things. All right. So, there are several in here. Okay. And again, transition words are words that signal when things are going to happen. So after a while, next, and so on. Okay. On page 4, you don't have to fill out anything on this page. On page 4, it is listing the ingredients and what page they're on. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with you and we're going to decide what went in first. Okay. So first of all, the little old lady filled the pot with water and put it on the fire. Okay. So there's the water on page 13. After that, he put the round gray stone in. So on this page, we have the stone, and that's page, I'm just going to put a P, and that's page 14. Okay. On page 16, they added the onions. So we'll write onions, and that's on page 16. This kind of sounds like vegetable soup. On page 19, she puts in the carrots. Okay. And then she puts in the dog bones on page 20. So I'm going to write bones. Sorry, that B looks kind of like a 6. That's on page 20. After that, on page 22, oops, We get a little salt. And some pepper. And again, that's on page 22. All right. And after that, they add a little bit of butter and barley. Okay, and that's on page 24. So we're going to put butter, butter, and barley, barley. And again, that was page 24. So there are the ingredients. She started with water. They added the stone, onions, carrots, the beef bones, the salt and pepper, and the butter and the barley. All right. Those aren't necessarily things that I would add to my soup, but hey, to each his own. All right. Oops. So that's what we're going to do today. All right. We're going to do page 3 and 4 today. So this takes you up to Wednesday. So check back in for what you're going to do next on page 5 and 6.